going in heaven or wherever he is. So, God bless Steve Fernandez. First anime I ever watched. So anyway, I wanted to make sure I did that today because I was moved by that when he passed. Really great guy, really fantastic guy. So the Pokemon history, the formula. Here's the problem. What happens is producers go, I know what kids want, and they don't know what kids want. They think they know what kids want, but they don't. So they tried it with Pokemon, and it worked because Pokemon kind of just works no matter what you do with it, in my opinion. Because you have to catch them all. So, because you have to catch them all, you're a drug addict essentially, and you're catching them all. So then the producers are like, hey, let's do the Pokemon formula on every show. And it'll be a hit, and it worked on some shows, like Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I don't know if you were thinking this, but this is how it came across to me viewing it. And what happened was, and then it happened with Dragon Ball Z, and they're like, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that, well, let's make it cool for American audience, let's make it cool for this. And what I love about Dragon Ball Z Kai is Dragon Ball Z Kai, which is sanctioned by Akira Toriyama, by the way, he's overseeing this in Japan. What Dragon Ball Z Kai does, it proves that if you leave it the F alone, you can have an awesome hit show in America. Here's cool. You know what kids want. You don't know what kids want. Did you go ask them? So, well, we have 2 kids, my kids. Well, that ain't good enough. And it was a big gamble. Justin and I were talking first. He's like, I don't know, that's a big gamble. I'm like, I'm confident. I was so confident that it was going to be a success. And by the way, I think it's the #1 rated show Nicktoons has ever had. Yeah. That's the Y7 version. I don't think you can even better. The Y7 version they still left a decent amount in, so I'm pretty happy with the Y7 version. And they have to do that for their rules and regulations or what have you. But there's this been theme in anime in America that we need to completely own it ourselves and make it American and make it colloquial. But the Japanese are telling great stories, and I think one of the reasons Dragon Ball Z lasts for so many generations is because if you've got a good story, I don't care what language it is, it's going to speak to the human heart and humanity. So this is a several hundred or thousand-year-old story, I can't remember the age, of the story of the Journey West and the legend of the Monkey King and Sun Wukong. And it's told in a sci-fi format. Now, I didn't learn that till after I got on the show, but it's kind of like, Clash of the Titans and the Greek myths. They just get told over and over because they're awesome stories. So don't mess with them. Just let it be. They're doing a perfectly good job. And we didn't mess with it. And I have played Goku for 10 years now. When I watch it, I catch it every night on Nicktoons and I try to get the DVDs. I am like, for a guy who should be sick of the character, I'm glued to the TV. And I'm not going, oh, they're going to posture for 2 more weeks now? Are they going to yell at you? I mean, I got bored too. It was like, I'm stronger than you, no, I'm stronger than you, no, I'm stronger than you, no, I'm stronger than you. Can we have some story, please? So with the music and the cast choices, and I'm blown away by Frieza. I'm just blown away by Frieza. Every time I watch it, my skin crawls. I'm like, oh boy. Awesome stuff. So for those of you who are purists, I've always been in your camp. My hands are tied in a lot of ways. And when I did the work at NYB Post as director, that's a better example of what my vision of localization of anime is. But to say, that's what I wanted to say about DBZ Kai. It's just, if you hadn't watched it yet, you're a purist, watch it, because it is definitive Dragon Ball Z. It's the Kai. I mean, I think it means king, right? So it is really the definitive one as far as I'm concerned. So that's all I wanted to say about that. And we can go to Q&A or whatever, and do whatever you want.
I think next year we're going to be working on Dragon Ball Z K2, which is they're going to cut it down 1/2 again. They're going to release it like then we're going to do it one more time the year after that. So eventually we're going to distill it down to where you'll only take 4 episodes.
Acquire the rights to DBZ abridged and then just sell it. Yeah. Just going to we'd like to buy this from me and just sell it. Climb down. So hopefully that clarifies some of the history of how this anime gets, a lot of decisions that are made about what makes a show great or suck have to do with people thinking they know stuff that they know, or money, or both. It's a very complicated process, and us as actors, we tend to be the spokespeople for the show. We're like doing the DBZ tour the first time, yeah, it's great, we gotta support it, yes. And there were parts of the original that were very good, they were, like all of my acting. No, I'm kidding. It was terrible. I feel like a much better actor now.
But at the time, we had a different type of excitement back then than we do now. Like,
yeah.
We were fueled by we do like this show. We worked so hard on it. It may not have been exactly what our vision would have been at the time, but we I'd say there's a good part of Dragon Ball Z which was getting a lot closer to what I wanted it to be, especially when Vegeta and Goku were fighting one another. We had a pretty solid script supervisor at that point. And by then, some of the early script writers were gone, and he was really pushing to make the scripts pretty darn good. So. I don't know. I'm not saying that it was bad by any means.
No, I'm so impressed with Kai. Contrastionally, like at the time we were like all blown away by it, but now we're just like. And here's what's really cool about this: you guys are in the unique position that I don't know how many other anime that's been dubbed, with the exception of Giant Robot, which was dubbed in the '70s, and then we did it again at NYB Post. With the exception of that anime, you guys are really. I feel very lucky that. It's like, well, if you didn't like the first one, guess what? Here's, Redux, it's very cool, and hopefully we'll set a precedent,
But it may be the first time where it has the original cast in it, or at least
what's that?
The majority of the original cast.
The Dragon Ball Z we've had a redub.
I don't think there's ever been a redub where they've just had the entire cast.
Oh, well, that's even within the realm of redubbing. That number would be even smaller, probably 0. Yeah, because when we did Giant Robo, it was completely new cast, completely new cast. So that's exciting for me, and if I was, an anime fan out in the world, and like, a little kid going, oh my God, they're gonna do it again, and then it's gonna be like manga, I'd be going bonkers. It's like, oh, I'm going bonkers, and I'm in it. I was watching on the plane on the way here. I took a picture of Goku, and I was like, why am I watching myself on a plane? It was so awesome. Then the plane natural movement shorted out the show right when I was getting to the good part, and so that was nice. So do you want to start with Q&A now, or what? Justin, you have anything?
It's fine with me. I can probably anticipate what the first 8 questions will be. And one of the questions I know is going to be, why were there some cast changes?
I'm only game.
I wasn't going to ask that.
I know you weren't.
I wasn't.
I know there were several folks. Anyway, yeah, let's do start some Q&A. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I'll set mics active where we can have people come up to the mic, or if you can talk loud, you can go ahead and yell your question out. And there's a mic right there if you want to use it.
And go!
I like these because these feel like town hall meetings when we get
I feel like I'm on Donahue, and then I gotta go up the mic and then turn around and go that.
Yes.
So, did you see the live action movie like the one scene?
Whoa.
Your sound rocks. You sound backwards up here, though.
What's up?
Can I hear that again? Do I sound the same? Okay. Wow. He had an effect on your voice the first time. It was crazy.
Oh.
Wait, what were you saying?
So, what was your take on a live action movie like Dragon Ball Z?
I watched the preview, and if my very nicest day said, if you wanted to call it, from what I saw from the preview, if you want to call it inspired by some things in Dragon Ball, kind of.
In Japan,
That's about it.
In Japan, Akira Toriyama's production team put a disclaimer at the beginning of the movie that said, "We apologize. This is not exactly Dragon Ball Z. It is inspired by the character.
Oh, really?
So please do not expect the Dragon Ball Z story." I thought it was awesome. I have not had. Stay with me here. You're going to be really embarrassed in a second. Because it was the most epic time making fun of anything I've had.
Yeah.
It was so funny. I was there with John Bergmeyer, who plays Tien Shinhan. He's also the head writer for Dragon Ball Z. And we were sitting down and we were taking a poll as to how many people were going to be in the theater within the first 10 minutes. And I had won because I said 12, and then he ended up winning because 4 people walked out. I thought I was totally gonna do it. And so I think there were only 2 people besides us, and they were really old. I think they were passed out too.
You probably didn't know they were watching Dragon Ball, so I should use some of those. I don't know. Who knows? So that answer your question?